Boom, ever onward tribe. I had a memory the other day that I wanted to share. On every military base, frankly in the world, certainly here in the United States, the day starts and stops about the same. It'd be the same thing on a naval vessel if you're actually out to sea, you're out at a post, somewhere we've established a base or a foothold in a spot where we're going to have the American flag there, and that's kind of a camp or some resolute place we occupy. But the morning starts with something that we call Reveille. And then you have what's called retreat and taps. I'm going to combine retreat and taps because it's going to be too much of a military lesson to get into the details of it. Basically, the day starts with Reveille. That's when there's a signal in the morning, and then the flag goes up. We render honors to that, and I'll explain that a little bit. And then taps is sort of the end of the day when you close the business day. There's no such thing in the military. There's people working on a 24-hour clock, no question. But as the kind of standard working day within the military, Reveille and taps start those days. So in the morning, you're almost certainly at the command before Reveille is going to start, or you're on base most likely. And when Reveille starts in the morning, let's say it's 7 a.m., that's a pretty standard spot, you'll hear a little chime that comes up over what we call the 1MC or the microphone that'll kind of blast out. I mean, literally there's speakers around base, you're going to hear it. And you're going to know within a minute or two, maybe 30 seconds, that we're going to actually stop for Reveille. The American flag is going to be raised, so some people are doing that by hand and actually raising a flag, and that'll happen in several spots around the base. But what's expected of you in the military is when that happens, you stop what you're doing. It doesn't matter if you're working out, you're in dress uniform, if you're even driving a vehicle. Your vehicle's going to come to a stop. All vehicles on base are going to come to a stop. Everyone that is out of doors will stand, face the flag or face the best direction they know a flag exists, come to attention. If you're actually under cover, which means you have a military hat on, you'll go to salute. You'll actually render honors for the full playing of the national anthem. A little chime will go. You'll drop your salute. You'll carry on with the day. I love this tradition, and the end of the day is the same. So just think of taps, the same thing. We'll play that great bugle song, or very sad, the baleful bugle song that you hear at funerals. But that's the flag going down, same thing. Everybody stops, renders honors. I love this tradition because it just is one of those where no matter where you are in the world, no matter what base you're on, Army, Air Force, Marine, Navy, we all start the same way. And we take a moment out of our day to think about why we're there. Watch that flag go up and what that flag means to us and what the service means to us. One of the interesting things about this time of day is I kind of recognized when I was at our SEAL training command, particularly our basic training command, we had a big quad where we do most of the PT with the candidates. The students are in there. There's a bunch of, basically footprints on the ground, and then that's where everybody stands. It's push-ups, pull-ups, burpees, whatever we're doing, run to the beach, wet and sandy, all that good stuff. But that quad is also occupied by the instructors, the administrative offices, and some of the civilians that work in around our command. And if you were on that quad out in the open, and as you were walking through that kind of in the open, you heard that little chime that meant Reveille was going to start in the morning. I saw every once in a while people sort of speed up and almost duck into an office. And it didn't occur to me at first what was happening, but then I realized, oh, they just can't be troubled to stand and watch the flag go up. And it really bothered me. It really bothered me. And I remember for a block of time, that person would do that. I'd stand, render honors, do whatever I was doing. It'd be done. I'd move on with my day. And then it occurred to me that no matter what we face in this world or what we kind of see happen around us, what you accept in others around you, and also your own standard behavior, becomes your standard. Right? So somebody says something off color to somebody else that you think is inappropriate. Look, you can let it go, but that then becomes your standard. You're letting things go. If you say something, I guarantee you're going to probably feel better about your life if you say something. So very quickly, when I'd see people duck in, I'd stand, I'd let that thing flow. We know everybody to command. I'd go shooting into that office. I remember one time in particular, one of my shooters, one of my teammates that I was on the battlefield with, I saw him do it. He's a good guy. He's one of our great performers. But I remember going into the, I think it was just our, training room or our locker room. And I kind of grabbed him. I mean, I didn't physically grab him. It wasn't required. But I was like, hey, what are you doing? He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, I saw you speed up to go duck in here so you didn't have to watch the flag go up. What's up with that? He's like, I don't know. I just didn't want to trouble myself. I was like, yeah, our enemy, at this point, our current enemy in the fight, 5 times a day takes a break, faces Mecca, and prays to their God. 5 times a day, they're thinking about what they believe. You can't do that twice, probably once based on our schedule. It's not right to duck out of that because you're also setting an example for the young guys as they see you moving around this command, that you're somebody that's going to run away from something that's very special and binds us across all the services. I tell this story because I think it's important to you to know that your standard is your standard. And if you accept a lower standard than someone else, that's what you accept. Don't do that. Hold your standard and hold people accountable to a better level of performance in themselves. Ever onward.